Imagine yourself lifting off from Earth. The blue sphere beneath you grows smaller and smaller. The stars don't twinkle, but glow with a cold, clear light in the absolute blackness. You're not just observing the cosmos, you're part of it. But what happens at that moment to the most complex object in the universe you've brought with you? To your brain. Today, we'll explore 5 incredible psychological effects space has on the human mind. From spiritual insight to genuine hallucinations. Let's get started. The first and perhaps most powerful effect is the overview effect. These aren't just pretty words. It's a real, profound cognitive shift that almost all astronauts experience. When you see the entire planet at once, without boundaries, without conflict, just a fragile living sphere suspended in the void, your perception of yourself and humanity changes forever. NASA astronaut Ron Garan described it as the stunning realization that we're all traveling together on this spaceship called Earth. National and political boundaries are erased. A realization dawns of the fragility of our world and our responsibility for it. Why does this happen? Our brains evolved to perceive the world locally. We see streets, cities, countries, but they're completely unprepared for the sight of everything at once. This image shatters habitual mental models and triggers a process of profound existential reassessment. It's not just beautiful, it's a psychological shock that leads to insight. But these elevated feelings are replaced by a more profound state. Effect number 2 is cosmic nostalgia, or homesickness taken to cosmic proportions. Imagine, you see your home, but you can't touch it. You see the continent where your loved ones live, but you can't talk to them without interruption. You can't feel the wind on your face, smell the rain, or hug a friend. Astronauts report bouts of profound longing for simple earthly things. For the smell of grass after rain. For the sound of birds outside the window. For the feeling of gravity firmly pressing you to the earth. Psychologically, this is a mixture of hyper-awareness of your connection to Earth, thanks to the overview effect, and a complete physical detachment from it. This creates a unique cognitive dissonance. My home is right there, but it's out of reach. In long-term missions, such as to Mars, this will become one of the main psychological problems. Now let's look at the dark side. Effect number 3, sensory anomaly. In zero gravity, your brain loses key reference points. Up and down disappear. The fluid in your inner ear, responsible for balance, floats erratically. Your vestibular system sends complete gibberish to your brain. The result? Dizziness, nausea, the infamous space sickness, disorientation. The brain literally doesn't know where it is. But what's even stranger? According to some data from the Soviet space program, under prolonged sensory deprivation and weightlessness, cosmonauts experienced visual and auditory hallucinations. Some reported seeing giant, non-existent creatures outside the window, or hearing voices. Scientists believe this may be a protective mechanism of the brain, which, deprived of normal signals from the body, begins to generate its own reality. Nemmethono, effect number 4 affects one of our most basic needs, sleep. On the ISS, the sun rises and sets 16 times a day. Your internal clock, your circadian rhythms, which depend on the cycle of day and night, goes haywire. The brain loses track of when to produce melatonin, the sleep hormone. The result is chronic sleep deprivation, insomnia, and fatigue. Without quality sleep, everything suffers: mood, concentration, teamwork, and even immunity. NASA spends enormous effort creating artificial day and night on the station, but it still can't completely fool the brain. It's a constant battle with your own biology. And finally, the effect that saves lives. Number 5 is hyperfocus and procedural thinking. moment of crisis, when seconds count and a mistake means death, the astronaut's brain undergoes a phenomenal restructuring. It enters a state of hyperfocus. Panic, fear, and all emotions recede. Only cool reason and strict adherence to procedures remain. This is what they train them for years on Earth. The brain learns to operate in autopilot mode, relying on skills honed to the point of automaticity. The story of the Apollo 13 mission is a hymn to this procedural thinking. On the brink of death, under enormous stress, the crew and mission control did not succumb to panic, but simply solved one problem after another. Their brain became the perfect tool for survival. So, space isn't just a physical journey, it's the most radical journey for the human psyche. From the spiritual insight of the overview effect to the life-saving hyperfocus in moments of mortal danger. Our brain is an amazing organ, capable of adapting even to the hostile void of space. But this adaptation changes it forever. Which of these effects do you think would be the most difficult for you to overcome? Share your thoughts in the comments. If you are interested in delving into the mysteries of cosmic psychology, like this video, subscribe to the channel and click the bell to stay tuned for our next journey at the intersection of science and human consciousness. Infinite space was with you. Until the next galaxy.